Hello everyone, back tuning into today's second video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's video. And we'll have all the regular features included in that as well. So, of course, we'll be able to extend out beyond that, be extended GFS and ECM ensembles. And we'll have a look at CFS V2 at the end of the video next 4 weeks. And that will take us through to the beginning of July. So 5-day forecast has been released. It's quite an unsettled 5 days coming up, especially so through the first part of the period. There are a few trends towards higher pressure and warmer, drier conditions maybe later on. So as we get through the weekend, the early part of next week, we might be seeing the weather turning drier and also very warm for a time as well. Have a look at 5-day forecast and see what's going on there. We're going to be live streaming tonight from 6 o'clock. We'll have our latest live stream. So we'll check in, see how we're all doing. And in that, we're going to have a look at the shorter range. So have a look at the GFS and GEM 12Z, UK Met 12Z. And also, I think I'll show you the charts that we're going to start using for the ECM to have 30-day look at from next week. So you'll know I've been a little bit dissatisfied with the charts we're using from the Hungarian Met Office. We're going to change over to some different charts next week, and I'll show you those in today's live stream from 6 o'clock. Right then, so first we're going to do is say a big thank you to our latest channel members. So still got loads of channel members to get through and give a shout out to. You're all going to get your own individual mentions in the coming videos. So I'm going to say a big thank you today to Jay Webber. Jay Webber has become a channel member for GavsWeatherVids. Thank you so much, Jay Webber, for becoming a GavsWeatherVids channel member. That's absolutely great, absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, Jay Webber, for doing that. If you would like to become a channel member for GavsWeatherVids, and all you need to do is come to GavsWeatherVids YouTube homepage, click the join button you can see on the homepage, or with all of the videos, and that takes you to another page where you can see what benefits you get for becoming a channel member, and also you can sign up on that page as well. If you can't see the join button, there is a workaround. There's a link in the description with all of the videos. We've got 33 channel members now, so thank you so much to all of our channel members, and it's absolutely great, absolutely fantastic to all of you for doing that. It's been very, very helpful this during the current crisis, and our promise to you and all patrons, all the donors, is that we're going to keep recording, we're going to keep uploading, we're going to keep live streaming, we're going to keep bringing you all of the content that you are hopefully enjoying. So just a huge thank you to all of you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well. Our subs are going up quite quickly at the moment. We're currently at 6,720 subs. We're only putting on around 10 subs a day at the moment. I'm hoping to get us to 7,000 subscribers by the end of the summer. It would be absolutely great if we could get to 7k. So yes, a big thank you to all of you for subscribing and to watching the videos and for liking and sharing, and just generally being amazing people. So thank you so much to all of you for doing that, and a special thank you to Jay Webber, our latest channel member. Right, let's have a look at let's have a look at what's going on in the tropics then. So we've still got the remains of Cristobal now in the very northern part of the United States, just beginning to leave America and head off up to Canada. Excuse me. So this is the remnants. Let's say this is the remnants of the Cristobal, and currently giving maximum sustained winds of 40 miles per hour, with central pressure of 983 millibars, moving very quickly at around 30 miles an hour north to northeast. That's just going to become an area of low pressure as it moves into Canada. And then, of course, we've got this yellow X just here. That's a disturbance area. That is disturbance 1, with only a 10% chance of cyclone formation in the next 48 hours, and we're saying that a non-tropical area of low pressure is located over the central Atlantic Ocean, a few hundred miles east of Bermuda. Development of this system as a subtropical cyclone appears unlikely due to unfavourable environmental conditions, and below is expected to dissipate in a few days while it moves north to northeastward. Only a 10% chance cyclone formation in the next 48 hours, only 10% chance in the next 5 days as well. So at the moment, things are becoming a little bit quieter through the tropics. We shall keep monitoring that, though, of course. These are the GFS upgrade temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. We're at Norwich today. And a big warm-up is on the way. So the red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Norwich. We're beginning slightly cooler than average at the moment. Temperatures are going to be lifting up, though, to go through the next few days as we move into the weekend. Looks very warm, actually, with temperatures, upper air temperature being somewhere between around 10 and 15 Celsius at 850 HPA, and generally staying pretty warm through much of next week now. So it does look as though next week is going to be a lot warmer than this week. We have also got a little bit of a drying trend appearing as well. So at the moment, of course, unsettled. Over the next few days, we will keep, excuse me again, we will keep unsettled conditions going over the next few days. But as we get into the weekend and the early part of next week, we now have a drier slot opening up. And that could last for a few days next week, actually. Certainly Monday, Tuesday, maybe Wednesday next week could be quite a lot drier. And with the warm temperatures, then, yeah, I think we're going into a spell of much warmer and also drier weather for the early part of next week. It is probably only a window of drier weather, because as we get beyond that into more extended range, beginning to move up towards the final week of the month, then it looks like it's turning more unsettled, perhaps. But certainly there's like 4 days, maybe 5 days of drier weather being indicated there for Norwich through the early and middle part of next week. And at the same time, temperatures are becoming quite a lot warmer as well. So warm and dry weather coming back for a time next week, perhaps. This is a temperature anomaly from the 10th through to the 18th of June. And overall, it looks a little bit warmer than average. I'd expect these to start trending warmer in the next couple of days, given that at the moment it's still quite cool, actually. So once we get to around Friday, Saturday, I expect these to start looking potentially really quite warm. And the precipitation anomaly from the 10th to the 18th of June. Still wet and average for England and Wales. There's plenty more rain to come over the next 2 or 3 days into the weekend. Drier and average across Scotland. These may start to trend a bit drier over coming days as well. This is how the UK Met Office model is looking for Saturday. So starting including the UK Met now, because it's a pretty decent model. It only goes out to 144 hours, but within the shorter range, it's a pretty decent model, so I thought we'd start including it in the videos. So on Saturday, we've got high pressure over Scandinavia, low pressure to our south-southwest. Looks a bit unsettled still. Looks like there will be showers, particularly for more southern western parts of the country, maybe some longer spells of rain. Into Sunday, that low pressure begins to drift westwards, which could allow drier and also quite warm conditions to spread into more eastern parts of the country. Over the west, it does still look as though there's probably quite a lot of showers around, even on Saturday. Then as we go through Sunday and into Monday, it appears that the trend is increasingly towards higher pressure taking over to the east. So the low pressure through Monday and Tuesday next week is gradually pushed away into the Atlantic. High pressure over Scandinavia turns the winds into the east. That's bringing warm to very warm air from the east and southeast. And I expect it's turning quite a lot drier for many parts of the country as well. There could still be showers in more western, southwestern areas, but I think for central and east areas, certainly a drier and potentially really quite warm spell of weather could be starting to open up here through the early part of next week. This is how the latest GFS one is looking. Again, on Saturday, low pressure is to the west, southwest, high pressure to the northeast. This low pressure will bring further heavy showers, particularly to western areas on Saturday. East areas probably going a bit drier and temperatures becoming quite warm. Through Sunday and Monday, we find high pressure really building, and the high pressure builds strongly with the more strongly with GFS compared to the UK Met. But nevertheless, it looks like by the time we get through to Monday, many parts of the country with the GFS are turning mainly dry and potentially very warm with that too. I think could easily be seeing temperatures up into the mid-20s Celsius there, probably quite humid. The high pressure remains in control through the early part of next week. There's the upper air temperature showing, but it is really quite a warm air mass that we've got associated with this ridge. And then through the middle and the second half of next week, the GFS wants to start moving this low pressure back up from the south again. that could start bringing increasing risk of heavy showers and thunderstorms perhaps through the middle and second half of next week. And as we get towards day 10, we finish up looking more unsettled again with low pressure back in situ over top of the country. So it's only like 3, maybe 4 days of drier and very warm weather with the GFS. And then the second half of next week goes back to more unsettled conditions. And generally stays quite unsettled then through into the extended range, which takes us more or less into the latter stages of June. Although by as far as we get to, it's Friday the 26th of June, and by then we are going back under a ridge of high pressure from the Azores, returning us again to drier and also pretty warm conditions. The GEM looks like that. So again, high pressures to the northeast, low pressures to the southwest on Saturday. Looks rather showery, particularly for more western parts of the country. Low pressure remains quite close to the country through the rest of the weekend as well. Early next week, not as much of a build of pressure, but there is a bit of a ridge building across the south, so that's certainly turning England and Wales a little bit drier. Probably still quite showery further north, though. But it's more extended range with the GM. We start to see low pressure trying to come in off the Atlantic. However, the heights are always relatively high down to the south and to the southwest. So for the south and southwest, probably it is reasonably dry for next week on the GM solution. Northern areas, I think, a little bit more unsettled. Generally, I think the GM is a little bit cooler, a little bit more changeable compared to particularly what the GFS was showing. The ECM looks like that. So again, the high pressure over Scandinavia on Saturday, low pressures to our south-southwest. So further showers or longer spells of rain can be expected into the weekend. That's Sunday, again, low pressure to the southwest. Probably starting to go a little bit dry, perhaps, for more eastern areas. And then through the early part of next week, it's a case of just gradually watching pressure begin to rise. It's a slow process with the ECM, but eventually it does get us to quite a big ridge of high pressure from the Azores by day 10, which is Saturday, 20th of June. And with that, we've also got quite warm prayer temperatures coming in as well. So that, again, probably enough to lift us up to mid-20s Celsius, I would have thought. Early next week, the ECM is probably more unsettled, though, than the GFS. So there's still a bit of uncertainty about this whole period. It's a very unusual, very strange weather pattern that we've got setting up for the end of the week and the weekend. So that does explain, and I think Cristobal also over in North America is probably having some impacts on this as well. But I think the unusual pattern that's setting up probably does explain why the models are really chopping and changing again at the moment. But the ECM finishes up with quite a big ridge of high pressure from the Azores. This is the precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from Tameteo.com, suggesting showers or longer spells of rain across many parts of the country today. The rain particularly focused on the southwest overnight. Other areas going to go a little bit dry. Then more rain comes in from the east, particularly affecting England and Wales tomorrow, so that could be heavy and thundery. You notice a dry day though, it's not the Northern Ireland tomorrow. Be quite nice up there, I think. Then into Friday, the showery rain pushes further northwards, and another massive rain comes up across England and Wales through Friday. So there's plenty more rain to come. If you're worrying about rain for your garden, there's plenty more rain to come before we have any suggestion of things getting drier next week. So plenty more rain for the gardens for the rest of this week and even into the weekend. This is Saturday. Showers particularly in more northern and western areas on Saturday. They could be thunderstorms in more northern and western areas on Saturday. Drier though for eastern areas. This is Sunday, looking a rather drier day really for sunny. There is showers in these western parts of the country, and not as heavy or as intense. There is some thunderstorms perhaps in the southwest, but overall it looks like we're trending a little bit drier as we come through the weekend, and it will be very warm. This is Monday. Again, most of the showers are in the west. Again, risk of thunder up there. Through to Tuesday and into Wednesday. Again, showers coming and going. This is Wednesday now, and heavy showers or possibly thunderstorms breaking out across many parts of the country. But gradually, the trend as we move up towards day 10 is to start to turn things drier. This is Friday 19th, mainly dry away from the far northwest, and that's Saturday 20th, and again mainly dry away from the far north and west. So eventually the ECM does get something a lot drier and a lot warmer. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles for day 10, which of course, as we just said, is the 20th of June. So we have 51 out of 51 members of the ECM ensembles, all of them having high pressure over and to the east of the country, low pressure pushed out into the west, winds in from like a southerly southeasterly direction, a lot of dry and you know, a lot of dry and warm weather is in with that as well by day 10. And then let's go from day 10 to day 14. You'll see what happens is that very gradually the ridge just begins to weaken ever so slightly by 2 weeks' time, day 14, which is the 25th of June. Still with a ridge to the east, though, and a ridge out to west as well. There could be some sort of trough, some sort of weak trough through here. I think even by 2 weeks' time, we're still sort of quite anticyclonic. Really, but maybe just weakening the pressure ever so slightly. But the ECM does look as though it's showing quite a significant warmer and drier spell of weather setting up still during the second half of the month, which has been a trend with the ECM ensembles for quite some time, I think. CFS V2 finally, so it's a 500 millibar heights broken down to weak periods. The first week period takes from the 10th through to the 16th of June. The coming week, high pressure to our northeast and also to our west, low pressure to our south. So the low pressure is threatening rain and thunder to southern areas. We're bringing in a warm easterly wind as well. Warm or very warm with that. Driest weather in the north, most are settled in the south. That's week 2, and it looks quite similar. It's the 17th, 23rd of June. Again, low pressure to the south, high pressure to the northeast and also to the northwest. With this, again, we're bringing up those east to southeasterly winds. Week 3 shows high pressure becoming a little bit more dominant. This is 24th to 30th of June. Then the high pressure is just to the north of Scotland. The low pressure is sinking southwards. I think that's turning us mainly dry and potentially very warm with those easterly winds. And then we go through to week 4, which is the 1st through to the 7th of June. And the high pressure band is pretty much centred over top of the country, actually. So obviously, as we come to the end of June and go into July, today with the CFS, it's looking like we set up potentially a little bit of a heat wave type pattern. But that's a long way off, weeks 3 and 4. So, and we know how much the model output is chopping and changing at the moment anyway. CFS is included in that, so I wouldn't necessarily take that overly seriously, but of course, if it did come off, it will be good news for GavsWeatherVids summer forecast. Right then, so that's how it's looking in the next few days. So what we're mainly focusing on for the coming days, of course, is these heavy showers, longer spells of rain, risk of thunder, particularly focus on England and Wales. At times, some of that will get up to Scotland, but it's particularly England and Wales the focus. Over the weekend, probably shifting the wet weather more towards the west of the southwest. More east areas, I think, turning dry. Could well become very warm over the weekend. And that sort of window of drier, warmer weather could extend through the early and possibly even middle part of next week before it maybe starts to get thundery again. Or certainly more unsettled again, anyway, as we begin to move into the second half next week. And their temperatures look as though they're going to be pretty warm next week as well. So after this chilly sort of feel we've had over the past few days, I think we will be seeing the temperatures picking up from around tomorrow onwards, actually. We'll gradually have a warming trend through the weekend and into next week. It could become very warm for a time by the end of the weekend and into next week. Right, that's it for your videos for today, but we haven't finished with content yet because we will be back from 6 o'clock with our live stream. So we'll have a look at the GFS, the GM and the UK Met 12Z, and I'll show you what we're going to be using for the E70F 30-day look at the UK and the Europe starting next week. We'll have a look at those charts in the live stream. Okay, that is all for now, though, and thanks for watching. We'll see you at 6.